La Fine, or The End in English, by the Maneskin, is one of the most underrated songs. It's a poetry hidden behind this angry curtain, because if you've listened to the song, you'll know this is a very angry song, very rock. And I don't know if you follow the band, but I think this song explains why they're taking a break at the moment and they're not performing for the near future. And whether you're a fan of the band or you're just curious, I know you'll get something from this song, and hopefully it surprises you. I wake up and a year has passed and I'm still tired. With a suitcase under my arms, I don't even know where I'm going. I wander around like a crazy person. I'm still biting my handcuffs. I've traveled the world, I've seen people, and no, it's not how I imagined it. So the song begins with this opening scene of this person who realizes that time has just flew by, that they're on the road all the time, and you know, they're wandering around like a crazy person. They don't even know where they're going. You know, it's somebody who has lost purpose, who has lost a reason for which they're doing what they're doing, and they don't even know what they're doing anymore. They say that they're still biting their handcuffs, meaning that even though somewhat they seem to be free, they're traveling, they're going places, they're still fighting some demons that are keeping them trapped. He says, I've traveled the world, I've seen people, and no, it's not how I pictured it. I think we can all see ourselves in this character, a person who has worked toward this goal their whole life, and then they get there, and guess what? It's not how they pictured it. We think that all our problems will be fixed once we get to this imaginary end goal, but unfortunately it's not that easy. I stuck my head in the mud. I ate badly to stay alive. I heard people call me bastard, and I'm still running, looking for the exit. But the only way is to break free from the pack. Dig until you can't feel your fingers anymore. If everyone is loving you now, know that it's not the beginning, it's the end. He ignored his inner voice. He ignored what he felt. He ignored his instinct to follow whatever it is that other people were telling him to do. He says he ate badly to stay alive, which could mean that maybe sometimes you have to swallow opinions and do things that maybe weren't really what he wanted to do or what he wanted to say, but he had to do it to stay alive, to survive in an industry that it's knowingly toxic. But then he says that sometimes to break free, the only thing you can do is move away from the pack. Not do what other people tell you to do, ignore the industry standards, and do what it is that you want to do. And then he says a sentence that will be repeated often in the rest of the song, and it's that if everyone is loving you now, is not the beginning, it's the end. And this is because if everyone is loving you now, that means you have accepted the standards, that you're going with the wave. In Italy, we say that you're like a flag. So like whatever direction the wind blows, you move. And that means you are somebody who doesn't have an opinion. You're somebody who just lets people bring you whatever the crowd is going. And it's not a compliment, it's definitely an insult. But you know, I think this is really what he means. He means that if everybody is loving you now, it means that you have stepped down, that you're not being true to yourself. Because the truth is, not everybody can love you. Not everybody should love you. We all have different opinions. We all have different experiences. And he says that this is the end, because if you have given up what you want to stand for, what you want, that means that that's it for you. You're lost. There's no going back. It's not the beginning, it's the end of you. He continues, know that it's not the beginning, it's the end. Even the most beautiful rose has thorns. Maybe the only answer is to leave or stay and rot. So this keeps with the idea that it's not the beginning, it's the end. If you give up on your values, if you go with the wave, you know. And really, he says that you really have two options. Either you leave and do what it is that you want to do, or you stay and rot. You ask me how it feels to have the world in my hands, like it really matters, as if we were special. In reality, we're left with nothing, a handful of flies in our hands. Not even all the gold in the world will be able to buy what we're left behind. You know, I think we all idolize fame. But I think being famous really freaking sucks. One of the worst thing about being famous is the doubts you'll have about the people you have around. How honest can your relationship be with them? Will they betray you? Are they there just for the success? Do they want a slice of your success? And I love when he says that not all the gold in the world will be able to buy what you left. And you know, this is really hard because you think that all the money in the world will make you happy. And maybe money does help with happiness. I think it absolutely helps with happiness. But fame is something you can't really take back. Your privacy will never go back to what it was. You will never be just a guy from Rome. I don't know if I'd want that kind of fame, to be honest. I think a lot of people seem to forget that actors, singers, even famous YouTubers, they're just people. Some argue they got lucky, some argue they're extremely talented, some argue that they deserve it. Whatever you stand for, it doesn't really matter, but they're just people. Sure, they're special, sure they have talent, but they're not someone to be treated differently just because they did something. You should treat them with the same respect you treat everybody. And so, you know, just saying. They treated me like a saint and then judged me, looked at me badly as if I was prejudiced. When they'll find the proof of my crime, it'll be too late to realize that they were wrong. But I don't stop, I continue. I want to live like I'm running on a wire. The day I no longer have a reason, I'll know it's not the beginning, it's the end. You know, people are strange. Sometimes people, they treat you nicely if it's convenient, but they treat you like shit if it's not convenient for them anymore. That he says to ignore all those things and keep going on your road. Run like you're running on a wire, you know, go for the adventure, do the things that you want to do. And then he says the one sentence that I think is one of my favorites, but you know, I probably already said that. The day I no longer have a reason, I know it's not the beginning, it's the end. And I could really resonate with that. I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but if you ever been in a relationship where you at some point no longer have the strength or the willingness to fight the person. This has happened to me in my last relationship where I was so fed up with how I was being treated, and that at some point I literally went numb. I was like, you know what? No, I'm not doing this with you. And that was it. And then when he came to me and cried and whatever, I really felt nothing. I was like, I probably would have felt worse if a stranger was crying than him, a person I spent the last 2 years with, that was crying. You know, I didn't feel anything anymore. You might say, oh, that's heartless. Well, I don't know. I was really fed up with it. So this is what he means by when you no longer have a reason, when you no longer have that fire in you to want to fight, to want to fix things, when you no longer have the energy to go against what society expects of you. And then he says, I was just looking for an excuse to say this, to stop going where the wind blows, finding light before everything turns off. And if no one loves me, it will be the same. Here he kind of mentions what I said before about the flag, that if you're like a flag, you move where the wind blows. And he says that he wants to stop going where the wind blows. And if nobody will love him, then that's fine. He doesn't care. He prefers doing what it is true to him, because otherwise you just lose yourself. By doing what people expect of you, by doing the things that you think you should be doing, you lose yourself. And he ends the song repeating, know that it's not the beginning, it's the end. Even the most beautiful rose has thorns. Maybe the only answer is to leave or stay and rot. Will you leave and experiment? Try to find yourself, discover yourself, experiment with life, and lose a lot of people along the way, because let's face it, people are not gonna be very happy when you tell them that you don't want to do what they want to do. Or maybe you decide to stay and make people happy and do what it's expected of you, but then rot. And maybe one day you wake up and have this middle life crisis while you realize that you wasted your life. And maybe you'll blame everyone but yourself for this choice. What will you be choosing Will you be choosing to be like a flag and go where the wind blows? Or will you be choosing to leave? Well, you probably already know which one I chose. I'm definitely not staying to rot. I am going and experimenting things and trying things and changing my mind. And this channel is all about what I learn in this journey of mine. If you like the translation and analysis of this song, I also have Caroline, Torna a casa, and Vent'anni. If you have any other suggestion of any Italian songs, it doesn't have to be from the Maneskin, leave it down below, and I hope to see you next week.